Woke up at dawn with the pelicans in flight. Coffee brewing strong by dawn's early light. Waves whisper secrets to my open heart. The life around this water gets me off to a great start. Parrots wild, squawking loud in the old palm tree. Dolphin smiles, brighter than the Texas sun on me. We chase simple dreams, nothing fancy or grand, just honest days in this promised land. God gives rainbow horizons to those in this happy lane. Diamonds dancing on the waves, back sparkling again. Honest living, a pursuit of peace, family ties and the happiness we seek. Love forgotten country running deep in our veins. Through the storms and the trials we break those chains. Good living brings the blessings we see. The rainbow horizons calling to me.
All right, people. That's Granny Jules up there. I could tell you a funny story about Granny Jules, but I won't. And we'll pretend like I did, okay? I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm back again. You're like, holy hell, why is she going live? Because I took the afternoon off yesterday and it was great. And now I have a little pockets of time, which is even greater. And I stumbled upon a little morsel of news. Look at that. It's fascinating. All right. What is this? I'm going to make a point. I'm here to make a point. Let me ask y'all something. Do you guys think threats are effective? Let me take this down for a second so we can talk. All right. Threats. Do you think threats are effective? Let's talk for a moment about the types of people that believe threats of harm affect other people's behavior. You see, when someone threatens me, I laugh at you. Like literally laugh. Because I think when someone threatens me, in my mind, I have like this image of a clown, right? It's like, I'm gonna make you sorry. You're gonna be sorry. Okay, what are you gonna like beat me? Like you're gonna hit me through the internet? It got to get that camera. You're gonna have a hard time blacking my eye. See right there. Oh, did that hurt when I poked you in your eye? Let's see. Let's try again. Nope. Doesn't hurt, does it? You see, I'm making a point. I'm not being a smart aleck. People that threaten harm on others, those are people who are abusive assholes. Those are people that say, you do what I tell you to do, or I'm going to whip your ass. Well, you see, those are people that are abusive. Those are people that are violent. Those are people that harm others. And when you combine a public threat of harm, slander, and you follow up with evidence like prior arrests, then you just look like an abusive ass. That's all. doesn't scare me. I just call my attorneys, and then my attorneys call your attorney, and then they work it out somehow. So the threats to harm another person are really people that are willing to do public threats against people, whether it is for lawsuits or slander or physical harm. Those are people that are used to getting their way by hurting others. It's in their toolbox on when they encounter a problem, they say, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just hit them. I don't like the way this person is, responding to me. And so I will hit them. That's someone that's done it before, or they've had it done to them. That at one time or another, they were the victims of violence. And so they learned through their own subjugation and assault that, if people hurt you and beat you up, that will make you change your behavior. Except for if you're someone like me, who I never had anyone hit me when I was little. I was blessed with parents that were loving and supportive, and they were my friends. And my husband is my friend. People don't hit me. People don't seek to harm me. And so when people offer these threats up to me, I just feel that you are breaking the law when you do that. So I hope that what we're about to talk about next will sort of open up this window that yelling that you're going to sue everyone, like at this point now, exactly how long is the list of those that shall be sued? And I'm assuming that all of the people that you're going to sue, that it's going to be all people that you're going to make financial gain from, right? That's what your choice is. Otherwise, why, when you're yelling at me and threatening me, why would you call out what I do for a living? Other than you have a plan to try and commit fraud against me? I don't think your attorney is going to be very happy about that. So I don't understand, not for the life of me, why you are taking such a bold legal chance of screaming about my job and what I do for a living, and that's why you're going to sue me. You got a lot of people on that list. There's a lot of people, and none of us are friends. Well, they're not my friends. I'm not their friends. You're just anyone who has spoken out about what was publicly, knowingly put up on live streams and TikToks. You believe that you can sue them, even though it was publicly, nobody did anything super secret to view it. It wasn't like you had a private TikTok or a private YouTube and somehow someone hacked your, home and watched it when you had the belief that what you were doing was private. That's simply not true. You knowingly were live. All of the evidence. Well, I know that because, see, I've already sent all the stuff over to my attorneys. It's funny how that works, right? So they're laughing. So go ahead, do what you need to do. But I do want to bring this up, and that is the idea of, people that are public. And it seems that Jon Stewart, who is a very funny guy, he regularly calls Donald Trump, another public person, unhinged, like all the time. And it makes the big newspapers and mainstream media talks about it, right? And the newest thing that they have that Jon Stewart and has been talking about is Donald Trump's health, that he has signs that he is in serious health decline. And there are other experts, like doctors and critics that have all begun to warn that President Trump may not finish his full term. Even a family member of Donald Trump, his niece, Mary Trump, has pointed out exactly specific indications that say that her uncle, that she never speaks to, never visits, is never around him, she is using her position and knowledge as a psychologist to talk about his declines that he has demonstrated on a public platform. Adding fuel to the fire, Trump, mysteriously disappeared from the public eye over the Labor Day weekend. And his absence has shone a spotlight on all these discussions about his health. In fact, these discussions, these rumors, these outright accusations that President Trump may be DEAD, well, turns out it was much ado about nothing. Daily Show host Jon Stewart has taken a dig at Donald Trump over his brief absence from the public eye. It does say something about the ubiquity of Donald Trump in our lives that we don't hear from him for 20 minutes and we're like, oh, he's dead. Trump returned in front of the cameras shortly after the rumors of his death became public. He was not pleased about the various speculations, to say the least. After re-emerging from his holiday absence, Donald Trump told the reporters, I didn't do any news conferences for 2 days. Therefore, I'm dead. Must be something wrong with me. He lamented Biden wouldn't do a press conference for months. You wouldn't see him, and nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him. And we know he was not in that great of shape. So, look, I'm just going to guess this, okay? Little old me, little old nothing me, little old nothing you, big boy. If Donald Trump and talk show host comedian Jon Stewart, if Jon Stewart can say the president is dead and can say that the president has health problems, and even his own niece, who is a psychologist, says that he has dementia without an evaluation. If the law, the licensing boards, the media, if nobody cares if they do it, I'm thinking nobody's really going to care about the fact that you went live and demonstrated your brand and people online commented on it. And I did not point the finger at you. I did not say your name. And I did not further any rumors about you. So you might want to be real careful about who you're threatening, because bad things happen when you do stuff like that, because it is considered a threat of harm. Please don't do that. Please don't threaten people anymore. If you're going to do a lawsuit, you just do it. And if you're an adult, you don't need to make it dramatic. Please stop. The threats of lawsuits, the threats of harm to others, that is part of the backlash against you. That's part of why people are doing that. So the fact that you named what kind of work I do as you threatened me, you've just stepped off in another pile You've just stepped off in another pile. I don't know why you want to do it. Please stop. But please quit talking about other people, and please quit doing weird things. And all these people that are streaming you and talking, they're going to stop. So I don't know what else to say. Trump doesn't threaten, he simply acts. Yeah, if Trump wants to sue someone, he's not going to like make a grand announcement. He's just going to go do it. Let the law determine the reality of the egregious wrong, right? And just let the law do it. You don't have to make it scary, and just stop. For one thing, the harm that you threaten with, you may not want to do that, considering your history. You may decide that people have reached a point that the best, when someone starts trying to control you with threats of physical violence and harm to your income, that is when people get really angry and they start fighting back. So you might want to quit and leave me alone. All right, I'm done with that. His niece has made a very lucrative income by bashing and spreading unverifiable evidence about President Trump. Yeah, I mean, she said some outlandish, outrageous things. And I don't mind saying this. I have watched some of her stuff, and I have thought to myself, are you good? I think she has gone a little too far sometimes. But it's public people, right? That's the safeguard. It's public people, and she's commenting on things that people are doing while a camera's rolling. So if people are doing it when the camera's rolling, it's fair game for other people to comment on. You're out in public. You do not have an expectation of privacy. None. And, that's another thing, as you talk about what my job is and how you're going to sue me. There's going to be a lawsuit because I implied something. You need to take up fishing, right? You need to maybe start doing picking. You know what picking is? You go to garage sales and auctions and Goodwill, and you find things that you think you can resell at an increased price because you do have a lot of money, right? I mean, it's what you said. You said you had a lot of money. You don't need the money of your subscribers, do you? Your wife's subscribers? Do you need that money? It doesn't sound like it, because you sounded like you were money bags, like you were very proud of your fortune. And I think that if you were to start fishing, that's a hobby that doesn't very often get you in trouble. Same thing with picking. You just go in a Goodwill. You just find something cool from 100 years ago, and then you put it on eBay, and then you wait for someone to go, oh, look, that's cool. I've always wanted a doll from 100 years ago. I think I'll buy that. And then you'll make a profit on all the money you already have. And you won't get in trouble. Pointing out people's jobs and then threatening harm after pointing out their jobs. It's good. There's really, really great hobbies out in the world that don't involve cameras that record everything you do. Go fishing. I'll tell you another great hobby. Here's a good one. Learning to play the guitar. Learning to play the guitar is a really good hobby. I play the guitar. I love it. I love playing the guitar. I like to play the piano too, but the piano is not very user friendly. You can't like just pick it up and go sit out by the water and play a little tune. You know what I mean? But guitars are easy. Guitars are so easy to carry anywhere you might want to go to enjoy learning how to play. Playing the guitar is a great hobby. Let me think of another. Y'all have some ideas for good hobbies? Let me think. Cooking. Cooking's a great hobby. I know a lot of people that love baking. And I had to ask the question, excuse me, what's the difference between cooking and baking? And then my friends informed me that baking is really more difficult because it like involves like a chemistry things, like you're making bread, and so there's a chemical reaction within the dough and everything. And so baking is, basically using your oven, and the heat changes the composition of the food that you're making. So baking is actually like a thing, like people really love it, and it's hard to do. It requires a lot of practice so that you get better and better and better at it. So baking is a great hobby, right? What else did y'all say? Let's see. People act like attorneys are free. They're not. No, they're not. And that's one reason why, I just keep mine on retainer. I just give them money and I say, hey, would you just kind of wait for me until like I need help? And then I'll call you. But here's my money. Here's so you know that I can pay you. And then if something comes up, I'll reach out. And they're like, it's so great talking to you. You're just awesome. Give us a call when you want to. It's weird how that works. But yeah. So let's see. I tried. I wasn't good at it. Baking is like cooking divinity. Divinity is very difficult. So it's okay, Diane. There's other hobbies out there. How about beer pong? Mark, I'm gonna have to be a definite no for suggestions for this particular situation, because the person that threatened me, it's not going to be very healthy for them to. Well, maybe they could play beer pong with ginger ale. We could do a modified beer pong, and instead of using alcohol, we could just use ginger ale, and then that would be like a sport. Right? Like learn eye-hand coordination, getting that little ball into that little cup with the fizzy stuff. Yeah, that would work. Ginger ale pong. That would work. Oh, Mark, coin collecting. I love coin collecting. That, especially for a man of means, right? If you've already got more money than God, coin collecting is a great hobby. Thank you, Mark. I think that was a really helpful suggestion. I appreciate you today. Coin collecting. Yeah, instead of collecting other people's YouTube coin, just try to find like some antique coins and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Or somebody who's really rich like you could start like buying gold coins. It's called bullion. Bullion. You can go to like JM Bullion online and you can order coins. And then when they come in, get to rub that nice, buttery, smooth gold. Yeah, it feels good. It's nice. And if you get some of the older coins, some people spend a lot of time like cataloging their coins and organizing them, looking up the numismatic value of those coins. Mark is a genius. Coin collecting, that is right up your alley since you have so much money. I think you should definitely start coin collecting. That'd be a great idea. Hey, Common Sense, good to see you. Education, that is a great idea, Leo. Some people have always looked at education as like hard, right? They say, oh, I don't want to go to school. It's hard. It's hard to think. It's so hard to read. I don't know. Education is hard, but the truth is that education is actually the key that opens doors. You know what I mean? When you educate yourself on really anything, it doesn't have to be formal education where you're working toward a degree. It can just be something like, what happens in a state when you name a person's job and then you threaten them with a lawsuit? Is that a crime? Could that be a crime? Yeah, you may want to look. That'd be a great place to start with your education. Furniture refinishing. You know what I think? Common sense. Furniture refinishing would be a great adjunct to picking, wouldn't it? Like you could go around to the garage sales and the auctions and find furniture that has a lot of life left in it and refinish it, make it very, very beautiful, and then resell it for a profit. Again, another great hobby for a man that has so much money that he doesn't need his wife's subscribers to give them their Social Security money. Touching grass. You know what? I stand by what I'm about to say 100%, DB. Everyone needs 30 minutes in direct sun every day. Like physically we need that. Our biology has an intimate connection to sunlight. So much so that there are enzymes and vitamins that we really can't get any other way than through the metabolism from the sunshine. And our nation our vitamin D levels are dangerously low. The reason that everyone has a vitamin D deficiency is because they stay in their dark house all the time. And it makes them sick. And it makes them hard to think clearly. And even if you get prescription vitamin D supplementation, the digestive tract breaks down that supplement so you don't get but just a small percentage of what you're taking. However, if you go stand out in the direct sun, let the sunlight get on your skin for 15, 20 minutes a day, within a month or so, your vitamin D levels will normalize. They scared everybody with the whole, skin cancer thing and said you got to have SPF 50 on all the time. There's a direct correlation between vitamin D deficiencies in mass across the nation and the rise of the skincare, or not skincare, but sunscreen sales. So the truth is we need sun on our skin. We need that. We don't need hours and hours of it. We don't need to burn our skin, but 20 minutes of direct sunlight on your arms or your face, your legs, vitamin D levels will level out, and levels of depression go down. People start mood wise, they start feeling better. The aching, sore legs, that goes away. There's a lot of great things happen when your vitamin D levels are healthy. And you get that by just 20 minutes in the sun every day. It's pretty great. 30-minute walk, 20 minutes in the sun, you're going to be feeling a hell of a lot better. Maybe you'll stop threatening people. I don't know. It's worth a try anyway, right? Maybe it'll keep you from getting sued yourself. People are weary. Stop doing it. Stop. It's weird. Who peed on your cornflakes, Jules? What are you talking about? No. Nobody. I just don't look. I don't like threats of harm. I don't like that. It's not nice. And it makes people cranky when you do that. So don't do it. Don't threaten people. There's no need for that. Not nice. All right. How you doing, woman's warrior? I take it they are at a loss in a battle of wits. Really? No, 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 not there. Hey, OG. I'm not happy people are coming at tools. It's just dumb. It's just silly. Yes, Kelly, the sunshine is, everything. It really is. You know, I said to my husband not long ago, when we moved here, I never anticipate, like he loves to fish. There's that hobby again. He loves to fish. And so he's outside all day long. He does gardening. He's a really active, guy. And so he wanted this place. And I didn't really, I didn't want to live in a little tiny house, but we do have a actually really small, really modest house, very tiny. And we have a great lot. We have a great location. We have a great view. But it's a very small house. And, I had a really pretty house, really nice, big house. And this was, for him, and I just needed a good bathroom. I just wanted a pretty nice bathtub. That was kind of my thing. And so, because that's that's part of my mental health regimen, is being able to take like a long hot bath and all that. So, so this was originally his choice, and I just was like, well, I work all the time, so I don't care. I mean, it's a beautiful place, and I'll be happy to be there. It's fine. And so we compromised and did everything we did. And I was telling him not long ago, I just can't imagine being anywhere else. Like it's turned out to be just right. You can go outside in the middle of the night and sit on your balcony and look at the stars, or listen to the waves, or get up in the morning and watch the sunrise. It's just very boring and very quiet and really grounding, really healthy, right? It's a really healthy environment to be getting good sun, good exercise. I walk every day down by the water and back up. There's not people yelling and screaming in the house. There's no alcohol. There's no drugs. We don't live like that. He is a great cook. He loves to barbecue. He boils shrimp for me because I love boiled shrimp. And so our lives are very simple, and they're very boring, and they're very quiet, and they're very healthy. Know what I mean? So when someone threatens me, I get a little irritated. Yeah. But I don't stay irritated very long. You want to know why? Because I just call my attorney and I send them the information, and I send them whatever's got somebody's panties in a wad. And then I don't worry about it anymore. Then it's not my problem anymore. So I'm back to sitting on my balcony in about 6 hours. I'll be back on my balcony. So hopefully with no lights. So, hey, Frenchie, don't knock it, because you're right. There was literally a process for cleaning the house that we had before this one. It was a process. Like there was a schedule for when the service was going to come in and clean. And the service came in and mopped and vacuumed and cleaned the baseboards and things like that. Like the big cleaning, right? Not the little picking stuff up and stuff. It was like a process. Like it was like on Monday this thing and Wednesday this thing. No, you don't understand. 10 minutes with a broom. It's done. It's great. Yeah, it's totally great. Small houses are the way to go. I'm telling y'all, it doesn't get any better than a small house. It works. My favorite house, there you go, OG. There you go. My favorite house was 400 square feet right on the beach. I love it. Like cottage life, isn't it? Hashtag cottage life. That's right. Yep. Yeah, small, workable, cute. And I, that's what I would say to anybody that was trying to decide, what do I do for my house? Do I go big and flashy and expensive? Or do I just not spend any money, really small, really, uncomfortable? Like, what do you do? Here's my, after being an old lady and doing lots of different types of living arrangements, here's what I think is the best. I think small, and then I think you invest in the luxuries that matter, right? So we have a really small house, and we cook a lot. So our kitchen is modern and nice. And then I have a really, really good bathroom because I like the bath time, and everything. And that's it. Other than that, we are very, very simple. My niece came in, and of course, she's always known where I lived, right? Except Egypt. And I said, come in, let me show you. I knew what she was going to think because before I had a house that had like the big tall ceiling and everything. She came in and I said, look, and I kind of went like that because it's windows. So you can just see out. It's just water. And she looked around and she said, that's it? I said, that's it, sister. And it works. Yeah. I would live in a shed to have the view and the peace that you have. It's all about peace, woman's warrior. Peace. It's everything. It's everything. To live in a house where there is no drugs, there's no alcohol, there's no fighting, no clutter, no mess, just small and simple and polite and kind, just, yeah. Like, it's like, my husband will say, hey, we should do blah, blah, blah. And then I go, yeah, it's a good idea. And then we do it. Or here's a big difference. I'll say, hey, we should do blah, blah, blah. And he'll say, yeah, you want to do it now or after? And I'm like, I don't know. When do you want to do it? Oh, we could go right now. Well, let's go right now. And then we go get in the truck and we go. So it's not very complicated life. And there's no arguing. And it's perfect. It's great. So when someone thinks that they're going to interfere with my peace, things get a little uncomfortable for them. I live on an island. I get it. I love it, Leo. So Leo, you will like this. Oh, I can't tell that story. My daughter used to say all the time, she used to say, I'm an island girl. I'm never leaving the island. I'm an island girl. And then she ended up as far away from the ocean as is humanly possible. Okay. And so I make fun of her about that. And it was really cute though, because she ended up choosing a name for her child that is an homage to her beloved island. So it's really cute, really unique, different name, but it's in homage to her beloved island. So yeah. Yeah. Island living is, that's another great one, isn't it? Yeah. All right. I'd love to have a home like yours. My husband and I love to fish and swim. We've always dreamed of a place like yours. I'd love to sell and move on to a lake. Lakes are great. Rivers. So if I couldn't live right where I live, a river. I think definitely a river. And a big part of the reason for the river or the ocean is the sound. And that was something that I'd never thought about until we moved here. Because honestly, I really just didn't have any idea about how alive the moving water is. So, like, if you go sit outside in the dark, even if there's no moonlight or anything, you can hear those waves, right? You can hear the waves. And then the hotel that I stay in when I go to Colorado, there's a big river that runs through the area. And so I always get the same room. I know the people there at the hotel now really well. And so I get a balcony room on the riverside. And so you can open the windows and open the door at night to sleep. And you can hear the water like going over the rocks and stuff. So I've learned to love the sound of the movement of the water. It's so completely relaxing. I turn on white noise on every night. I would love to have that next to my house. It's the same thing, right? It's just noise that's not a pattern, but wow, it's so relaxing. Yep, so relaxing. I can tell you the other thing that really surprised us when we moved here, and it kind of shows how boneheaded I am. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I guess you don't really know something unless you research it, right? You don't know about your environment unless you have reason to research it. And I just never knew how alive the Texas Gulf Coast is, all of the wildlife. I don't know why I didn't. Now, so we have land in another state, like old family land, that there's a lot of deer and wild turkeys and things like that. So you're used to that, like woods, living in the piney woods. But here, it was something we'd never lived in a tropical place like this. And I've just been blown away by all of the wildlife. Like it's everything. It's the bird, so many birds and species of birds. And then I found out that we're like on the migratory path for the monarch butterflies. So we got all kinds of crazy butterflies that are always, here. What is the name of that kind of animal? A mammal. Can't think of the name of it because it's unusual. So we've got some of those here. We have these white squirrels that originated in a place called Texas City, which those are pretty cool. Then there's dolphin that come through all the time. We've had a few sharks, not very often, but a couple of times we had shark come through. But the dolphins are all the time. They're out there all the time. And fish, my husband has caught some of the craziest looking, my brother, my son, my husband, they have caught some of the wildest looking fish that you have ever seen. So we have dolphins, Frenchie. Yeah, it's the norm for the dolphins to come by. This area where I live, the marine biologists, they say it's a dolphin like nursery. So they come into the bay to mate, but then they also have their young where we are. So we see the little ones when they come swimming by. It's pretty cute. But yeah, it's lots of wildlife. So if you like to take pictures and you like to just sit and do nothing and just have a healthy mind and a healthy body, sitting out on the patio taking pictures and listening to the wind, it's a pretty good place. So I'm on a pursuit of peace. That's it. Nothing else. I just want peace in my life. So All right. Okay, I've got to go. Oh God, 3 o'clock already. How did 45 minutes go that fast? But it did, didn't it? Okay. Um, just be nice. Let's do that. Let's stop threatening and let's try to be nice and kind. That's a great way to live your life. It's a really good start for, a peaceful, quiet, well-grounded life. Stop threatening people. Um, oh, did you swim with, where were y'all at, Common Sense? Cancun. Man, that was at one time in history, the Cancun and Cozumel vacations were all the rage, weren't they? I don't hardly ever hear anybody say they go that they're going to Cancun, but for people that liked like scuba diving, everybody was going to Cancun and Cozumel. Yep. Cabo's beautiful. Belize. I love Belize. Yep. All right. Okay, everybody. Y'all have a good afternoon. And you know what? Be nice to each other. Super, super healthy way to live. See you later. Bye.